What is up, guys? It is the Sound Alchemist, and today I'm back to bring you a little bit of lore and a little bit of news on an awesome Space Marine chapter that you don't really hear too much about. It's kind of one of those forgotten chapters that often gets left in the dust, which, ironically, is what they do best. They leave you in the dust because they're all about going fast, bikes, and looking cool, in my opinion. They are the White Scars Space Marine chapter. So the White Scars are very unique. They're one of the first founding legions, and they're pretty known and feared throughout the Imperium of Man, because they're very, very mobile, and in war, mobility is key, oftentimes. So I'm going to give you a little bit of lore on them, just in case you need a refresher, you don't know who or what they do, or just to show you how badass they are. And then I'm going to be showcasing the new models that are going to be available via Forgeworld. I believe we have like a Praetor, a Contempt Dreadnought, and a Leviathan, and I think one more. But anyway, sit tight, grab some popcorn, and let's dive into this 40k lore. So the White Scars are a legion of nomadic tribesmen who were from the planet of Chagoris. This planet is kind of like a feudal Japanese slash Mongolian type of planet. It's not industrialized, however, like I said, they've got tribesmen and they fight between other tribes, and that's kind of how they pick their neophytes. Basically, the best warriors from these tribes get inducted into the chapter. And the chapter doesn't really see the Emperor as a god or anything like that. Hell, they don't even follow the Imperial Creed, and they care nothing about the ecclesiarchy. Their belief is that it is their lone duty to destroy the enemies of the Emperor so that he can ascend from the Golden Throne to begin a brand new Great Crusade. And when that happens, that's when their Primarch, Jagtai Khan, will return and lead their chapter on the Great Crusade once again, just like in the 30k era of the Imperium. So, they're loyal to the Emperor, however, they don't follow the Codex Astartes. They have different types of, I guess, ranks in their chapter. They do have librarians and captains and such like that, but it's different than what you would expect for a normal, I guess, type of like specialist roles and stuff like that. So like they have the Khans. Khans is what they're called. It's basically like a commanding officer. So they have like their Great Khan, their regular Khans, and then they have a Master of the Hunt, which is kind of like saying a chapter master, I believe, along those lines, where they're highly respected and they're pretty powerful throughout the chapter. Now, one of the blessings to this chapter is that their gene seed is practically stable and healthy. They show no signs of like mutations. They don't have like the red thirst, the wolfen disease, or anything like that. They're pretty good when it comes to that. And because of this, they have often high neophyte numbers, so their numbers of Space Marines don't really get depleted that much, and they're a full force chapter is pretty much what I'm trying to say. However, if you could call this a flaw, it's that they're oftentimes a little bit too savage in combat. They don't hold back, they go full force, and because of this, they have a curse, so to speak, called the Chagorian Savagery. This is when the Battle Brothers' discipline begins to slip and falter, allowing for a brief moment of untamed ferocity to emerge in the heat of battle. Often the Battle Brother will not even know that he is succumbing to this savagery, and it requires the presence of other Battle Brothers to warn him of his failure. And then there's another stage to this called the Suppressed Rage. Within the darkest reaches of that Space Marine's mind lurks the shadow of his rage and fury, seeking any opportunity to emerge, causing the Space Marine to become belligerent and very quick to anger. So this is, I wouldn't even call this a flaw, because I mean, in battle you kind of need this. Yeah, it's okay to systematically just mow down your opponents, But when you're fighting against like Tyranids or the Dark Eldar who have taken your people as slaves, I feel like this is a benefit. Um, it's not to the point of like the Butcher's Nails and Angron or the Black Rage with the Blood Angels, where you literally lose yourself and just fight and fight and fight until you die, killing friend and foe. No, you're still kind of aware of your surroundings. You're just like they said, you're going savage, you're going crazy, going stupid, going bonkers. So that's what it is. I don't see it as a hindrance. If anything, it helps the chapter to become more efficient. Now, when it comes to the aesthetics of this chapter, I really love the color scheme, the white, the red, the gold, because it pretty much mimics the color scheme of my own fan chapter, Legion, the Celestial Suns. Besides this, they're akin to high mobility units such as bikes, land speeders, rhinos, that kind of thing. And they have a very like Eastern look to them. They have Japanese influences in their armor. They have scimitars, lances, katanas, and some conversions that I've seen. So it's an army that can be very easily converted to look like samurai or that kind of aesthetic, and it's pretty cool. And you can see that in the models that we're about to talk about. So if you head on over to the Forgeworld site, you can see the brand spanking new models that are going to be released soon, because I don't think they're up yet. I believe it's all pre-order. So let's begin with the White Scars Leviathan Dreadnought. So first and foremost, the Leviathan Dreadnought is a beast on the battlefield. I've had the luxury of playing this bad boy in a couple of games, and he is a bullet magnet, but he can take the damage and dish it out. Definitely a great asset on any battlefield, especially for the White Scars, because your scars are going to be very mobile, and this guy can kind of slowly lumber towards the enemy, picking off targets of priority, while your bikes and whatnot kind of flank the enemy. This guy, like I said, he's going to attract a lot of fire just because he's big, so that's going to give your bikes less fire coming at them, so more chances for them to survive and to keep, picking off enemies left and right. The look of this guy, it's pretty standard, but you can see a little bit of like the ropes and like the cloths adorning him that kind of give him that aesthetic of the White Scars. The next guy we're going to be talking about is this White Scar Praetor, or I guess he could be like a captain or a lieutenant in the 8th edition rule set. So easily you can clearly see that he is a White Scar Space Marine. He's got the top knot, the mustache, and he just looks White Scarian, Chagorian for that matter. Looks like a pretty badass stance as he's holding that lance, power lance, and just overall just looks really badass. I for one aren't a fan of helmetless Space Marines, so the helmet that they gave him here looks pretty badass. I believe it is a Mark IV type of helmet, but it still looks pretty cool. It has like that Japanese samurai look to the helmet, which again kind of pushes the aesthetic of the White Scars being like Eastern and that kind of thing. Let's talk about the Contempt Dreadnought, one of my favorite models in all of 40k. So again, you've got the aesthetic of the White Scars. For some reason, he's got that little top knot on the Dreadnought, which is pretty hilarious. However, you do get to see the flags, the heraldry, the ropes adorning him. Again, just giving him that look, and it got nothing else to say. It's a pretty good looking model. But moving on to my favorite model that has been, I guess, previewed in Forgeworld is the Cataphract Ii Praetor. So again, this is like your captain, lieutenant in Cataphract Ii Terminator armor. He's got 3 top knots in his Terminator armor, and he's got a freaking eagle on his arm. Like, Emperor who? It looks really badass. I really love this model. If you go into the details, his helmet looks really badass. It's got like that visor looking thing. He's got like a combi bolter, it looks combi melta. Again, it gives you the option of having the helmetless one or the helmet. In my opinion, hands down, just go with the helmet. But the one thing that I do love about him is if you look on his back, he's actually got that power scimitar on him, which just looks amazing. And then in the front with his belt area, you can kind of see like the cloth with like the armor in it, just giving you more of that Japanese like samurai armor look to him. Really, really great model. Hands down my favorite model of the White Scars that I've seen so far, without it being a conversion. And that's pretty much all I had to talk about for today. Again, guys, let me get your thoughts, your comments on these White Scar models that have just been released. Are you going to pick any of them up? Do you play White Scars? Have you ever played against the White Scars? Again, I feel like it's an army that doesn't get the love it deserves. I, for one, thought that it was going to come out as its very own codex this year because there was rumors that maybe a Space Marine chapter that never had a codex before was going to have one. And I feel like the White Scars are a good contender for that. They're aesthetically, they look different. They've got their own feel, mobility's a key thing to that. So I feel like they could really do well with their own codex. But yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know what other Space Marine chapter you believe deserves their own codex, salamanders, that kind of thing. So yeah, that's all I got for today. Can't wait to read your comments, and I'll see you next time. Don't forget, if you want to support us more, you can head on over to the Patreon page. A simple $1 a month helps us put out more videos and do more giveaways. We are ever so close to that 150,000 subscriber mark, so you can best believe we've got giveaways ready for you. And yeah, hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course I am the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, and I'll catch you guys next time.